Alright, let's get out of the way. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment if you like. This is episode 2 of the series I'm doing, where I recap seasonal anime, and I choose about 7 to 8 shows per season, so let's get into it. Alright, if you watched all the other Mashle episodes so far, watching 6.5 is just a fucking waste of time, to be honest. Can't even recommend for those who haven't even watched it to watch this one, because there's so much story that you just missed. There's no point watching this episode. But the whole episode's about him just being able to defeat everything in one punch, his obsession with cream puffs, him making friends with people that backstab him or don't treat him right. But that's what happens when you're just muscle. You're a fucking idiot. Half the time I don't even know if he knows what's in front of him. He just sits there. His whole brain's rotting from all the sugar from the cream puffs. Besides him being one of the only loyal people at this school, at least Mao puts his strength to work. He shows people, you can mess with my friends, but you cannot mess with me. You can't mess with fucking John Cena. The thing I hate about this show is it's too inspired by Harry Potter. The character designs are not very original. Some characters look like other anime characters. If this show wasn't funny, I probably wouldn't even watch it, to be honest with you. If you were to meet this guy and just watch the show, you wouldn't believe that he was homeless at one point. I mean, he would eat food from the trash cans, he would rob things from people, and he would beat up adults who have weapons with his fists, which makes no fucking sense, but how else would he stay alive? So at the end, after he beats up the adults, someone points his sword at him, and he says, alright, I guess you win. He has no other choice but to go to the prison. So now that he's on Hell's Paradise, it gets even worse because 1, he looks like Naruto, and 2, he has a little girl who wants to marry him. And then we get this monster angel, who knows what the fuck this is, who can go from male to female in a flash. And it's immortal, which fucking sucks. How else are you supposed to beat this thing? So they try to run away from it, but it's too fast. It catches up to them. So Daredevil throws a sword and saves them, and they all run away together. But if only it was that fucking simple, because turns out to be he doesn't trust the little girl because she's a criminal, and the criminal that he was supposed to take care of was a special girl, and that's why he can't trust her. And the thing that I think is really crazy is they're able to debate whether they should trust this little girl or not. In the span of that time, the monster didn't even attack them, but right when they finish the conversation, boom, that's when they come out. So after we figure out about the relationship between Zoro and Naruto, which in short was that Naruto thought that Zoro was just wasting his time, but he was trying to teach him how to protect the ones that he loves. And it's kind of weird because, spoilers if you have not watched the episode, he ends up fighting the angel, and after a while of fighting him with all of the sword techniques that he's been trained with, none of them worked, and he basically just died there. And his sensei can't do anything but run away with the little girl and hope that he survives. That is fucking awful. So college student is going to a high school so she can enjoy the festival. But she's not the oldest one there. There's also a 4-year-old man who's part of this gaming team, and so they're both just enjoying the festival. But it's kind of awkward because everyone else is a high school student except them. They try to get the group together, but there's only one person left to find, and that's Yamada. But no one knows where he is. Because we have a 10-year-old who doesn't go to high school, we have a 20-year-old who goes to college, we have a 40-year-old who games all the time probably. The one high school student who does go to high school with him doesn't even know what class he's in, but eventually they find the fucking guy, and turns out to be he's a big celebrity everywhere, especially at school, because these two are walking together and every girl is staring at them. I have never seen that anywhere. They're acting like Tom Holland just walked into their school or something. I'm surprised that even though he's not in sports, this gym teacher still likes him. I don't know how old this guy is, but he acts like he's his best friend or something like that. Do you think it's weird to have a best friend as a teacher? Let me know in the comment section below. So the forbidden words in a shoujo anime are said. The D word. So this guy just says, hey, since people think you're dating already, which that's the D word I'm thinking about, you just date him already. And then she gets really mad and runs off, and then he has to go and find her, and this big shoujo moment happens where they both admit they like each other, but they're not ready for that yet. Oh, and his sister is stuck in the bathroom for basically the whole fucking episode. While she's shitting her underwear there, Tanjirou's trying to cut this little demon's head off. But you can imagine it's like trying to grab a fly in the air. You just can't. But because he has his sister's blood in his sword, he swipes his neck. But for some reason, it's invincible. Can't be touched. But Tanjirou doesn't give a fuck. He's gonna try to cut this neck off as the last thing he does. Even when he smells a demon behind him that's really strong, he still is trying to chop this fucking neck off. But his neck just won't pop off, and the demon tries to attack Tanjirou. But Tanjirou's homie wants to pop the guy's head off, but Tanjirou's big head's in the way. So Tanjirou gets attacked, and not by another swordsman or something like that. He gets attacked by a fucking Hydra. Who can summon that? But that doesn't matter to Tanjirou. He knows he has to slay this dragon if it's the last thing he does to save his sister. But strangely enough, his sister's the one that saves him from the Hydra. Then she breaks her fucking arm and leg, but good thing she can regenerate. I don't know how Tanjirou's gonna defeat this guy, because he can somehow paralyze Tanjirou with just looking at him. But it's not looking good for any of the demon slayers, because this Hashira is being choked in a bubble that he can't chop. So he can't breathe that well because he's underwater, and he's hallucinating until he figures out that the only person who's been trying to save him is this young boy with a sword, and he's not popping the bubble because he's very weak. Let me know in the comment section below, but are you also surprised that this Hashira can stay alive for this long without breathing? Not until the little boy ends up giving him breath at the end is when he finally faints, and then he figures out that Tanjirou and his dad looked very similar and they act very similar. Oh, and he got himself out of the bubble, so now he can finally kill this thing. So our main character and his team have to go and find food because camping has a school trip thing. And you won't believe it, he's not just good looking, really strong, can fight, but he can also cook. He's everything. So for a school assignment, they have to go and cook and act like they're from Food Wars. And whoever gets crowned Master Chef, the teacher that teaches them gets a bonus. And so the teacher is really hoping that he gets the money. So of course, he makes a dish that even Gordon Ramsay would be surprised about. I mean, look at this guy. He's not just good looking, strong, can cook, all that stuff, but all the girls like him, and even the teacher likes him. I mean, she's gonna calm down right now, or someone's gonna come and get her. So then very interesting clips happen that I don't want to talk about here. If you want to see them, then you're gonna have to go and watch the whole episode, but there's some pretty spicy stuff in here, so I'd recommend go and watch. And that's not even the huge thing. The huge thing is that there's a bear in the forest that they actually find, and they don't know how to defeat it, but guess who knows how to defeat this thing? It gets pretty wild because the police come and they arrest the bear, and somehow it stays still until they take it away. So the main character is Isekai again. He's in the forest and he starts fighting this person, and he figures out after he cracks her that's the girl that he's been hanging out with in the previous episode. So he wants to go home and treat her wounds, and when she wakes up he wants to talk about why she's an evil person, and the princess also wants to know who the fuck this person is. Look, you sometimes don't even know who's having a hard time in this world. For example, here in Oshinoko, she wants to kill herself because she's being bullied online. So she dives into the streets and someone saves her. But who can it be? Oh, it's the main character. Right place, right time, even though he never cares about anyone. Awesome. Even this girl says, depending on my mentality, sometimes I just feel like I should just go and kill myself. The of a teenage girl is just unbelievable. Just won't be able to understand unless you are one. Or you were one. So Light Yagami has been arrested. That's super dramatic, right? But this is even more dramatic. One of her friends figures out that she tried to kill herself. She goes over there and slaps her in the face and says, never fucking do it again. Through the power of the slap, she figures out, yes, they are friends. That slap must have been from God because her mind just flipped 360 degrees. She doesn't want to kill herself anymore. She just wants to kill it. Then she acts like the main character is some sort of god himself. It's probably because everyone knows that he's really well connected and all the politics that goes into all this stuff. Also, his eyeball must be magic because not only does it have a little star in it, it makes him seem like a little incel boy. But he ends up helping her because she had a really bad internet personality, but now that he's gonna edit a bunch of footage and stuff like that, so it looks like she's a lot kinder and a lot better type of person. It's gonna help her out. He's so smart he can make a producer give him a part of the movie so he can edit it into this small film he's gonna put on YouTube or something. But luckily, there's a social media fiend, and it's this girl with cat ears, and she knows when to post, what type of stuff to put, and how people are gonna react to it. So they end up posting this really big video on Twitter, and it ends up getting 1,000, 10,000 views, and everyone's excited. They're like, yeah, we fucking did it. So the blue haired girl is gonna end up back into the show, but she says, what type of part should I play? And I think they want her to play the person who likes Aqua, and so they ask him, what's your taste in girls? And he says, basically his mom. But he doesn't say it, and some of the cat girl knows exactly that's the person that he's thinking of. Everyone's too smart for their own good in this show. So this girl takes all the notes that he said, and she writes them down on a notepad, and she's trying to get every single detail down. She spends all day and all night trying to figure out where to buy this type of clothing, and what personality she's gonna take, what is she going to look like just in general. And I'm thinking, that's too much for this guy. Then she goes to the shoot and she looks exactly like his mom, but with blue hair. I personally thought it was fucking cringy. I don't know. Is it just me? Leave a comment down below if you also thought that. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Peace.